now, because I wanted to see if I could find out, who to call, who would own it, and, return it to its rightful owner. And I found him. First of all, I found a lead for, I don't want to give any details away, definitely not, but all I'm going to say is that I found, what's the word? All I'm going to say is I found a group under his contacts that is related to something I'm related to. And so I looked that up online and was able to find a Facebook group. And I messaged somebody in that group. Haven't heard a response back yet. But then I was like, well, wait. I already gave the person I just messaged the name of the guy, because there's a thing in contacts that's labeled me. Cool. So why don't I just look that guy's name up on Facebook? So I did. And I'm like, wait, that guy? Yeah, that guy comes to the dollar store all the time. I'm pretty sure he's been in the dollar store at least twice since he lost his phone.
Olga doesn't own Snake Root.
And that's my manager just saying okay, because I told her I'd show her a picture when I got there of the guy. But anyways, on to the topic now. So, first of all, I'm going to talk about why I love Mondays, and then transition into keeping the Sabbath day holy. Because, 5, maybe 10 years ago is when I started really seeing stuff on the internet about I hate Mondays. Some of it is related to The Office, which I haven't seen, some of the memes. But a lot of it is just genuine people saying, I don't like Mondays. Well, why? I like Mondays. I like Mondays a lot. In fact, less so now, and not in a bad way, in a good way, okay? I'll get to that in a minute. But back in the day, Mondays were my favorite day of the week. And so for most other people, I quickly learned why they hate Mondays, which is, like the weekend comes, you get off work Friday, if you work that type of job, go home, you wake up Saturday to a day filled with, maybe some house chores and getting some important stuff done around the home, but just fun and relaxation. 2 whole days of fun and relaxation. And then you go back to work on Monday, a whole nother week of work. No, why? I don't like work. Work is stressful. And I get that, but for me, it went very differently. Because, 1, I was homeschooled, and 2, my dad was stuck in a wheelchair with multiple sclerosis, so I had, what's the word? So, my mom was left to provide for the both of us, being a chiropractor. It's her job. And so a lot of it was spent me doing whatever I wanted to. There could have been a little bit more emphasis on the actual schooling part of it and learning, I'm not really faulting anybody, because my dad was stuck in a wheelchair and it made it difficult for my mom in many ways. But, a lot of it was spent doing what I wanted to, which there was a lot of creative time and me building stuff with cardboard and random things I found in our backyard using my imagination. Some of it was spent playing video games and whatnot. Working on my own personal projects too. Stuff for the YouTube channel back when I started it. All these things. And it was great for me. And so then the weekend rolls around and Sunday, my least favorite day of the week. Sunday is the day that we're supposed to keep holy and spend time to think about and remember Jesus and be closer unto Him and go to church. Back then, I didn't really like going to church. It was kind of boring. And not that I was against the church in general in any way, shape, or form. I just thought that church was kind of sort of boring and I didn't enjoy it as much. But definitely not dislike of the gospel at all, because I really liked seminary. And the way I would equate that, seminary versus Sunday school, like Sunday school, we're just sitting there having a nice, quiet lesson. I mean, as quiet as 14-year-old boys can be. Yeah. But, and maybe we'd play a little bit of hangman or some other activity, but not much really. One time we had like snacks where we all brought different snacks into class, and then, we watched like Mr. Kruger's Christmas. But with seminary, we're up and about, we're allowed to be a little bit louder, we're throwing tennis balls at the whiteboard to make a dot and some marker, and it was just so much fun. And I absolutely loved it. So for me, that was just a little bit more fun, excited, enthusiastic way. And Sunday was a little more quiet, which goes along with being reverent. But I didn't really enjoy it because I couldn't work on the things I was working on during the week. Because, I mean, most of my YouTube videos don't bring me closer to the Savior or help anyone get closer to the Savior. And that's, to be fair, that's not the main point on my channel. When I do a Let's Talk on Sunday like this one, I do try and keep it related to Sunday and talk about things Sunday, but that's not the main point of my channel. It's just a little side thing that I do is talk about the gospel here and there. So if anybody's watching this and they don't want to hear about the gospel, you know, you can go click away. But stay tuned to find out a little bit more about why I don't like Sundays. I like Mondays. So anyways, with Sundays, you know, I couldn't really work on the projects that I could during the week. I remember one Sunday where I woke up, got on my computer, and started just playing games or something, super excited. And then my dad reminded me that it was Sunday, and he was like, that's right, it is. So I stopped playing the game and turned off my computer, sadly. You know, and that leads into why I really like Mondays, because when Monday rolls around, Monday means a whole entire another 6 days of me doing almost whatever I want and working on projects, and that was a blast. I loved it. So, least favorite day was Sunday. Second least favorite day was Saturday. Favorite day was Monday. And today, I still do have moments where Monday really rings to me, and I like Monday a lot. But the big thing is, I appreciate Sunday a lot better. I realize that we do need the spiritual recharge. And it's great. And so I would say that Sunday and Monday for me are almost even as far as liking them. It kind of depends on what I'm doing and whatnot, but it's really just that I appreciate Sunday now almost as much as I do appreciate Mondays. So, yeah. Now, keeping the Sunday holy. You're supposed to do things that bring you closer unto Christ. And I will admit there have been plenty of times that I have done things that don't necessarily bring me closer unto Christ. In addition to that, you know, and there are some things where, you know, you could say it's on the edge. Like playing board games with family. That was one that my family, you know, just me, my mom and dad, and that's it. We were totally fine with doing. It was good family activities, good family bonding time, bringing closer together. And I've even done that a few times on Sundays with friends recently, where it's like really fun and exciting. And not a lot. I've only been to like 2 game things with friends on Sunday, you know, like twice or so. And there's 2 friends that are doing it quite regularly. And I actually think it's really good, especially given the singles ward area. It's good to get people closer together. And a lot of times, activities just bring people back into the church sometimes. So, I mean, seriously, if you guys are the ones hosting these game nights and you see this, I mean, thank you. I don't know that I'm going to come to every one of them. I'm a little bit of an introvert myself. But the big thing is, it's very good and helpful, I'm sure, for a lot of people. It's, you know, it's just a good way to connect and just being together, doing something that's wholesome. I say that counts for something, even if it might not be the holiest thing you could do on Sunday. You know, I mean, staying home and reading your scriptures might be a little bit better than playing games, but you might need that. You might need that, you know, social interaction. I mean, for me, something, you know, for me, like, I've been somewhat lucky. A long time ago, I requested Wednesdays off. Or not the whole day, but the afternoon off, because I had Institute. And now I don't have Institute, but I haven't changed that at all. You know, having Wednesday afternoons off, just keep it that way. Makes it nice and easy. I'm trying to listen to old conference talks on Wednesday afternoons, which, oh man, I'm really loving these old talks. And how, I like how blatant and less beat around the bush everyone is. I get why they have to be now, but, you know, I like them being less blatant back then. That's for another topic, though. But, and then also Mondays is when I really see people from the ward, because there's, oh, what's the word? Oh yeah, because word prayer. No, sorry, that's Sunday. I'm a little bit tired. Family home evening. I usually go to the family home evening activities. There's been once or twice where there was an activity that wasn't. Ooh, 1 second, hold on. Oh yeah, there's a cute little puddle up there. And lots of birdies taking a bath. Anyways, so yeah, that's what was I gonna say? So I see them then, and then on Sundays, hey guys, on Sundays, I see them at ward prayer. Sometimes we don't have ward prayer. Maybe there's like another fireside going on, or something else. Or sometimes they've not had ward prayer for certain holidays, like on like Mother's Day and Father's Day. There's been no ward prayer, which, interesting little side note. I one time after a family meeting that was part of our stake, I went to, my friend and person from our ward and a few people from another ward decided to stop by Denny's and get some ice cream. And so we all went to Denny's and had a good time afterwards. And one of them was mentioned that there's no ward prayer that Sunday, but then, I signed up to bring a snack. What's up with that? And I was under the impression that they were going to have ward prayer regardless of, whatchamacallit. Yeah, going to have ward prayer regardless of it being Father's Day or whatever day it was. I think it was Father's Day. And on that note, I get not having it because probably less people are going to show up. If none, they're all going to be spending time with their dads. But then at the same time, we're talking singles ward here. And so this is very much so comes down to the, a lot of them don't have family nearby. They moved out to Utah to go to BYU or whatever their dream goal was. They moved out here. No family nearby. And you can hop on, with technology now, you can hop on and talk to your family on the internet, video chat and stuff. But that's only going to be for so long. They've got stuff they've got to do there. I mean, I don't know. It's talking with your family online doesn't last as long as if you were actually there with them, spending time with them kind of thing. It usually doesn't. So, on notes like that, I say, you got to realize there's people who don't have much to do. So I like having it on those days, which our ward doesn't, and I respect that. But I think it might be kind of nice, which is at which point a lot of times it's been nice, especially when we've had holidays. I don't know, in the past. I forget what day, Memorial Day I think was one where we didn't have it. But then some other people from the ward stepped up and said, hey, we're going to be meeting here and playing Ultimate Frisbee, and so we did that. And that was actually, no, I don't think I went to that one because I'm not a huge sports Ultimate Frisbee fan. But there have been people that have stepped up and done something for those who don't have much to do around here. Hey, puppy. There we go, puppy just chilling on the grass. Good dog. A little bit scary, but I'm not too worried. This is the point where you just walk away and you don't run. I learned this from, I think you can find clips on YouTube that are actually legitimate episodes uploaded by the network that owns the show. But if you look up Dog Whisperer, Caesar Milan, he's really good at that stuff. And if you don't own dogs, well, it's good to help a situation like that. I could also even see just the way he was holding his lip. Might not have been specifically like a growl or a sense of anger, but could have been wearing a collar too. But he just looked a little bit tense. So anyways, back to topic. So, back to Sunday activities. Games is fine. But there have been times where I've done things that they're definitely not in what my family considers to be Sunday holy, and this is something that has quite a bit of variance to it. It's not a crystal clear law. those birds chirping kind of sounds like, like if a cat has a bell on its collar and it's scratching itself. Anyway, so it's not a crystal clear law, so everybody's going to have variance. For me personally, in my family, and if you go by the law of, or the rule of thumb, does it bring you closer to Jesus? Then that really throws a lot of things out the window. For me personally, for my family, like, we never watch sports on Sunday. I'm not a sports fan, but my dad was. He used to distract the pain a lot, watching, football and stuff, and so, watching Super Bowl on Sunday, which, yeah, I've done that once. That's not go there. That's for another time if I feel like talking about it. But, like, for me, mainly watching YouTube or sometimes working on projects, like, I am a little bit ashamed to say this, but, I think I did maybe a smidge of airborne death on Sunday, but I didn't save my work. I was testing something. But then I was like, it is Sunday. I shouldn't be doing this on Sunday. Especially since that's how a lot of filmmakers end up kind of sort of falling away, as they start accepting that, just a little bit of work on Sunday because I need to get this project done fast. I'm not going to mention names here, but a famous filmmaker, my dad knew him. And I've met him like once. And sadly, he's not a member anymore. But anyways, so I have to be very cautious about that, going into the field that I'm going into, and just the way that direction that he went, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm definitely not working on Sundays. I mean, or doing anything YouTube on Sunday, unless it's something like this, where I'm talking about a gospel-related topic and trying to bring people closer. Stuff like this is okay. If I had to do any major editing or anything, I would probably question that, unless, if it was really a gospel, if it's something related to the church that's really big and important, and I'm going to pray about it and see what the Lord says. But for everything else, like Airborne Death, that's not a Sunday thing. Other things aren't Sunday things. If you go way back and you watch the weird clips for movies I've made before, which is that Darth Vader Crunch Stomach Yummy music video, that is, yeah, that was something that I made on a Sunday, and surprisingly my parents didn't mention anything of it, when I made it that Sunday. It was just me. I was like just super crazy and bored and wanted to do something, and that idea popped in my head, so I'll make a quick video of it, and so I did. Don't know if I had it finished Sunday, but I had that segment recorded on Sunday, and I remember being so bothered by one thing. I'm in the front room. I've got these two wooden doors closed, but they don't really block. It's not gonna block out a whole lot of sound, just some of it. Like maybe 1% extra sound blockage from doing that. Hey, one person watching. Hey. So 1% sound blockage from that, and the thing that bugged me was I asked my parents to just stay, this was in our old house. I asked them to just stay still in the kitchen and don't make a sound while I quickly recorded this. And Mom was like, but why don't we just go in the other room so there's less noise in general? And no, just hold still for a minute. No, we're going in the other room. Could you just please wait for 1 second while I record this really quickly? And they didn't wait. They went in the other room. I'm not angry about it now, but that's the way I was back then. It was just kind of like, hey, maybe possibly just hold on for a second while I record this. Which, that's figurative, okay? It took more like, I don't know, a couple of minutes or so, however long the song in the video is. But that was something that I made on Sunday, and I'm surprised that Mom and Dad didn't mention anything or say it doesn't really bring you closer unto Christ. Which, in a way, it's actually good they did, because there is a point where you can... Oh, and I have an example that I'm not going to say right now. Kind of personal. Maybe I'll feel like in the future it needs to be said, but for now I won't. But the big thing is, there's a point where like you can kind of push the gospel a little bit too much and toot the horn. They don't do this, don't do that, a little bit too much, to where it becomes really bothersome and annoying, and some people will just lash out and do that thing you told them not to do because you said it too many times, or maybe you said it in the wrong way. Kind of like, hey, make sure you don't stay out too late at this party, and make sure you don't do any drinking, and If you say that in the wrong way, say it too many times. Like, I would say if you said it 50 times during, let's say you said that 100 times during the week leading up to the party, and then you said that 50 times alone, and on top of that, the day of the party, making a total of 150, you'd probably drive them crazy and make them want to stay longer at the party because he said that and I'll show him and stuff like that, you know. So I think it's good that my parents didn't really say anything. Especially since back then I kind of sort of realized, you know, like, why am I I'm just so bored, I gotta do this. But I did kind of realize that wasn't the best thing to be doing. And recently, aside from working on projects, I was also watching YouTube a little bit on Sunday, which, for me, I kind of sort of make an exception if, like, Sunday is the only time that you really see certain people and there's stuff that you want to tell them, maybe show them. As far as show them goes, that can kind of wait towards the week, I would say. I've shown one or two things that are on the internet to friends on Sundays. Not very often, though, but you can, like, send it to them during the week, stuff like that. But talking about stuff, you don't really see them during the week. Then, yeah, it's okay to talk about things that necessarily aren't Sunday appropriate. You don't see them very often, or, I forget what it was called, but there's a Nova episode about how we actually made, it was us versus the Russians in outer space, and both of us actually made satellites that had laser cannons on them, basically, or just a space gun, actually. So that if we ever got them actually spying on us, you know, we could blow them out of outer space. Just shoot them out of this, not the sky, but space. Just blow them up and have war in space if needed. And last thing I'll say on that, it survived a very bad beating when they tested, I think our side tested it. But anyways, I showed that to my aunt once on Sunday because, you know, I thought it was really cool and interesting. We didn't see her very often. Even though she lives, like, really close by. You know, we do need to see them a little more often than not, but... So I've done some things on Sunday that I am not super enthused about. Especially lately with work, you know. I kind of get into this, that's... Well, I'm at work and then it kind of makes me, even though I do treat it kind of like service, you know, that's the way I look at it. It makes me feel a little bit happier about it. And there's nice people that come in and shop on Sunday. I've talked about this before. It's mostly Spanish people who are Christian, most likely, and they come in and they buy their Christian candles and cleaning supplies. But the big thing is that it's kind of sort of gotten to me in certain ways, and it made me really forget exactly what day it is. Whereas if I go to Sunday, then I have a better chance of remembering, and I'm less likely to, like, pull up YouTube or something. And also, I will say that, you know, like, when you're going to sleep on Sunday, you know, your mind thinks about kind of the last thing you did. So, this is especially from talking to my mom about this too. But I kind of agree with her that, you know, if you're up past midnight on Sunday, which then technically means it's Monday, don't necessarily treat it like Monday and start doing whatever you would do on Monday or anything you do during the week. Just try and go to sleep and let your mind think about the good Sunday things. I don't know. But the big point is that this varies for everybody. Everybody's going to have their own standards. And, you know, this is an area where you can't really say that it's wrong to watch the Super Bowl on Sunday. You can say, you know, our family kind of believes that it's wrong. We don't do it. I don't think it really brings us closer to Christ. And there are some people, you know, I remember back having a lesson, one of our neighbors mentioned, you know, like going and playing football or baseball with friends, maybe not really Sunday appropriate, but doing it with family was okay because it brought you closer to family, and that's important. And that goes back to playing games too. But, you know, I don't know. It depends. We all have our own different things. It's different for every scenario, too. I mean, I would say, like, seriously, if, for example, let's say you believe that playing football on Sunday isn't necessarily right. But then you go and you, one Sunday, kind of end up playing football with a friend, and it gets him active again eventually, to make long story short. I would say that's really good. You know, who knows where he'd be if you didn't play football that day with him. So it's very different every scenario. It's different for every person. I do really, but we do definitely need that Sunday spiritual recharge, weekly recharge. Even if you're not religious and you just spend Sunday relaxing and doing, I don't know, watch Netflix, catch up on favorite episodes of your show, other things like that. It's good physical recharge too, just to relax. But if you're religious, make it a spiritual recharge. And I guess if you are a member of the church, or you're interested, or you're religious at all and you just want some good spiritual notes, this is some old general conference talks. I believe they're all available on YouTube, which is cool because you can see, It's cool because you can see the people speaking, and there's some interesting effects that they did, like they've superimposed the speaker on top of the crowd, kind of a thing. In fact, you wouldn't see today on TV, but they do it. And I don't know. I do wish that they had like the music, so I could really hear the music from the whole entire conference session that they had back then. I would have loved that, but nah. Anyways, that's something you can do that's simple. They have some really good words. I'm right now working my way through the April 1893. No. Sorry, 1983. No. I'm getting it backwards. 1983 General Conference, April. I'll talk more about listening to old conference talks later on and why I love them so. But that's pretty much it for my thoughts. Leave a like if this resonated with you in any way, shape, or form. Let me know. Share any stories down in the comments below you want to related to this topic. I'd love to, read some stuff like this. It's cool to read other people's stories. And yeah, I will see you guys in whatever is next. Bye.